I do a lot of weird things in my head, and I'm wondering how many other people do the exact same things. I think you do some of these things as well, Jay Burr, we've discussed. Now, we're going to break down some of these specifics of these. You'd be like, is this normal or no? We're going to see if as many people do the little games that you and I do in our head. Now, you do something when you walk in a grocery store and they have the automatic doors.
Yes, I do.
What's your move?
I always act like I have the Force from Star Wars, and I open the doors with my mind. And
cool. I like
even
that.
as an adult, I'll walk up and I'll just go, I'll wave my hand, and I walk in like I'm a Jedi.
I kind of like that. That's why you walk into Publix with just that BDE.
I do
you
that.
You get that Jedi energy.
I also do that when I'm driving. I'll have my steering wheel, and I always act like I put on 2 of the armed missiles on my steering wheel,
yes.
and I act like I'm shooting the Death Star when I'm stuck in traffic.
I do the exact same thing. I'm in the X-Wing fighter.
Yeah.
It's from the end of New Hope, and it's kind of like I'm driving down that little canyon, and the guns are kind of coming out, but then if I have a car behind me, and I know I've hit them, when they turn on their brake lights, that's the flames coming out the back. I'm like, got him.
Yeah, I do that. I mean, when I was a kid, it was real bad. I used to try to move things with my mind. I'm like, I know I have the Force. I know I have it.
I think we've all tried that. Now, this is an interesting one, and I do kind of get this. Tell me why it is when you are going in to get a pub sub, you actually start jogging in by what you see in the parking lot.
I'll tell you why, because I've been burned so many times. There was this one time I was so hungry, and I saw a group of about 9 guys in a group heading towards, they were in the parking lot, but they had sub energy, and I was in a rush, and I go, there's no way I'm going to wait in line for 9 guys, and they were going to the sub line, so I just skedaddled and walked real fast to a light jog, and I beat them to the sub line, and I would have had to wait for 9 guys to get their subs. I beat them barely, so I won that round. But yes, I'm always surveying the land for a big subgroup, because in my head they don't have the eye of the tiger.
Dude, it's a 15 to 30 minute difference, honestly. If you've ever stood in a Publix deli line, it can take a hot minute.
This was 9 dudes.
It changes your day.
They looked hungry. You could tell they were working on something outdoor. They had just a hunger about them, and I knew they were going to the sub line. And I beat them, and I'm jogging through Publix. I didn't care.
That one I really do get.
That would have been a 35-minute detour.
I think a lot of people are probably doing that.
But I've been burned the other end where I don't get there in time, and then there's like 7 people. They're all in the same group.
Terrible.
And they are taking no. I want the fancy lettuce that you have to go all the way in the back and get. Right. And I cut my cheese very thin. It's always the longest subs.
And you kind of look insane when you're in a half sprint running into a Publix. You're like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah, that's the least craziest thing I've done in Publix.
But I get the justification for it. And then what do you do to try to swim faster when you're in your pool? You create this scenario in your mind.
I do. I act like I've been thrown overboard and I am in a sea full of sharks.
Who threw you overboard?
The pirates.
Oh, you're on a pirate ship.
Yeah, just in my head, or the terrorist, or I had to escape the terrorist boat.
Oh, you got away, yeah.
And now I find myself in the middle of the ocean, and we are in the ocean where sharks rule.
Hungry sharks.
We're talking hammerheads.
And you're delicious.
They haven't eaten in a long time.
And you're bleeding, of course.
Oh, and I've got that sweet/salty kind of blood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sharks can taste it from miles away.
I'm already bleeding from something I banged on the boat, so I'm attracting the hammerheads.
So I asked, creating imaginary fictional scenarios in your head during mundane tasks. Do a lot of people do that, or is it just Jaber and I that are the big weirdos? 80% of people say it's normal. Good. 80% of people, just to get through life, they create these imaginary scenarios that they're walking through in their head that are fictional. They're Indiana Jones, or they're this, or they're that, or they're a vampire.
Do you know what I do sometimes to get through meetings? I kind of have a daydream scenario that the building gets taken over by die-hard type terrorists.
Okay.
And
you're like Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I have to figure out, all right, now, if all of a sudden they come from both ends, what's my move? How do I
Yeah.
get the show out of here?
Right.
Do we go down the stairs? Do we try to break a window and scale the wall?
That's interesting. I think there are people that have either been in the military or law enforcement, and they legitimately do that every single time with every building they're ever in. They size it up immediately to be like, okay, if it goes down, what am I doing? How am I getting out of here?
I was talking to a police officer, and he told me that sometimes it can be exhausting because even in his off time, no matter where because police officers, they're trained to observe everything.
Right, yeah.
So even when he's at a barbecue, he's just observing it. He can't shut it off. He can't relax.
Look, I think a lot of people, if you've been trained for something that every environment you go into, you do this. It's not like you just turn that off if you're not doing that at that moment.
Oh, when we go home, sometimes we start getting into the debates with our family members because we're so trained on the air to get into debates.
Yeah.
So just no matter what.
Or like if I'm talking to somebody and a song is playing and they start singing, I have to stop speaking. It's just a radio rule. They're like, what were you going to say? Be like, I can't, man. The song, they start singing.
You're making a sandwich and all of a sudden you have to promote a radio contest. It's so ingrained in you.
I got to get in the sponsor. I just got to do it. It does happen.